Looks like I'm going live. Hello there, my friends. I'm glad that you could join me for today's webcast. And today is going to be, I hope, a very good webcast. I'm just trying to turn on some lights here, trying to, you know, I never get things going the way they should be going, the way they should be going. I'm always late. Our ways are the ways that we are, is what I'm going to talk about on today's webcast. And I'm glad that you could join me for the next hour or so. Um, you can also leave your comments if you want. I'm PJ. The reason that I'm dressed in my tank top is because it is hot and I don't put on airs. And when it gets hot, I feel uncomfortable. It makes me go to sleep. I'm a senior citizen. Right? It's not wrong for a man to dress in a tank top. We live in this day and age where everybody is attempting to, um, how can I say, where everybody is attempt to please everybody outside of the ordinary. Is that normative? We asked that the last time, and my company said, no, it's abnormal. Well, it's turning out to be a nice, cool evening. I'm glad to say I have the fan going here in the office, you see, trying to keep me cool. And since the fan is going, I don't have any books out to read to share with you. I'm just going to share with you a little wisdom from, this is going to sound a little weird to some of you, from the retired pastor, from the retired pastor. I no longer pastor. I haven't pastored in so many years, but I'm still alive. I still have a tremendous love for God, but I go about it far different from most evangelicals. I don't love God in the way that I did when I was pastoring a church. Will I always be a pastor? Of course I will. I do that all the time. I minister, ministering to people. I minister to people all of the time. I'm looking for something. Just excuse me. Yeah. I minister to people all of the time. That's my job. See? And when you get up in age like that, you can continue to look out for yourself and to look out for other people. Oh, I didn't get my water. Let me go over here and get my water because it is warm today. It is very warm. Here it is. And I'll probably drink this entire quart. Ah, I want to talk to some of my pastor friends. I was looking at something on TikTok um, this morning, and I saw some bishop. He was some high price hireling in the Church of God in Christ. Uh, oh, that feels so good. It was warm in Los Angeles today. As a matter of fact, I want to share with you how warm it was, and so that you can get some idea on how warm it was, because it was warm. I'm going to the weather now. It says that it's right now it's 76 degrees in Los Angeles. You may say, "Oh, that's comfortable." No, that's and it's humid. I'm kind of hoping no fires have gotten started to burning up the dry brushland and all of that, because that usually happens all the time. Southern California just burns up. Oh, I see. Yeah. My daytime assistant is leaving, going to another job. And what do I need a daytime assistant for? Because I just need it. Uh, I was supposed to go with him tonight, but I chose not to go because as a senior citizen, so I'm 79 years old, I can leave when I want to, come back when I want to, do basically what I want to. But I wanted to spend some time with you guys, especially to my older pastor friends. I saw this pastor in the Kojig denomination praising the bees to the Mormons in Mormon Tabernacle uh, in Utah. And I recall years ago when I was a commentator, people would ask me about Mormons, and I wouldn't have too much anything good to say about them because I studied the writings of Joseph Smith, and the biased seminary that I went to was biased against Joseph Smith and the Mormons and the Quakers and everybody else, only to come to find out that not Christendom, but Christianity, there is a grave difference between the two. See, I have a movie that didn't come out too long ago called Luther. I used to show it in the college that I taught in when I taught world religions, because this particular movie, just entitled Luther, defined Protestantism's breakaway from the Catholic Church. And if you would ever like to see, oh, I'm sorry I don't have the packet here with me, but you can look it up or contact me at a later date. I'll show it a later time. But the movie was made very accurately, very accurately. And for that, I appreciated the movie. Um, so I understand from listening to, I guess, the head of the Church of God in Christ, that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't researched any of this. When I was an apologist years ago, I would research everything before I talk. But everybody's talking on broadcast media now, giving their opinion about things. So I just thought that I'd give mine without doing any thorough research. And I hope that you guys can appreciate how lovely my skin tone is. I'm noticing that on this camera, how not only lovely my skin tone is, but how together I'm staying. Wow. That's from not taking years of drinking, and taking all kind of dope, and putting narcotics and drugs up. None of my body is falling apart. No holes in it anywhere because I chose to live the way I believe God would want me to live. See, you're entitled to choose the way you want to live. If you want to take a bunch of drugs, I told you that I do medical sativa because it helps me concentrate. Okay, it helps me concentrate. I take this medicinally if you want to. Now, let me tell you what a lot of church people think. A lot of church people think, John, you're going to hell if you do. No, I'm not. This is my way of surviving. You choose yours and you survive your way, and I'll choose the way I'm going to survive. I got this for you. If we used to sing a song in the church, if it had not been for God on my side, where would I be? Where would I be? God on my side. All of you that have studied under me have looked at any of my going on 500 YouTube clips on my page, study, knows what I'm talking about. I've always told you to believe in the truth. I wouldn't do anything to harm myself. That would be foolhardy. And I think it's a terrible thing when a man or a woman, adult or teenager or young adult, harms themselves at the behest of someone else who doesn't care enough about you to tell you the truth. For those that may think that I tried to use this platform to preach because I no longer have a church, if whatever that means, I've never had a church. I've never wanted to own one. I was employed by a few people over the years that I function as a pastor. I would never make myself a bishop. I know what it means to be a presbytos. I am not that. I'm not the smartest cleric in the world. But at the same time, I'm darn sure not the dumbest. If you want to know something about this book that you read called the Bible, ask me. I'll share it with you. And I will share it with you adequately. I won't play with you. I won't give you a, oh my, what are these preachers doing now? This is what I'm wondering. And maybe somebody can, and thank you for the one person that's, thank you. I really appreciate it. I would, uh, let me see. I think, oh, someone had dinner with my sister in Chicago, I believe. Wait a minute. Oh, that's who that is. I am. Now, you guys want to hear something? You know Reggie Theus, the basketball player? Yeah, that one. When I grew up as a kid, me and my sister and my brothers, here in Los Angeles, down the street there a little ways, to be exact, 118th Street and Broadway in Los Angeles. I tell you stories on this thing. Well, I just got a text from, well, let me read it to you. It's from a dear childhood friend of mine called Celestia. This is Celestia Theus, Reggie Theus's sister. We grew up across the street from the Theuses when Reggie was a little kid in diapers, running around in the front yard fence. I would kind of like watch him with his sister Elaine, and I think Elaine recently passed away. She's no longer with us. But listen, this is what Celestia says. Hi, Junie. It's Celestia. And this is the first time I'm reading it on one of these contraptions. Donna told me that you wanted me to send you some pictures of Elaine. So I'm sending you a couple. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wait a minute. You guys don't know. I got to tell you the story. Man, I'm telling you, wait a minute. See, I wanted the pictures of Elaine because when I was in high school, Elaine would come from Long Beach to babysit Reggie, Andre, Celeste, and Phyllis Ann because their parents worked like my parents worked at night. Because when you're growing up in the inner city, everybody's working, making that bread. So Elaine would come over to the house to babysit Reggie and the rest of them. I think Andre was um, old enough to get out on his own, but the girls still needed some supervision. So she says, so I'm sending you a couple. One is of her son. Elaine and myself took last year in May at my house. Oh, this is going to be wonderful for me to look at this. Oh, you have to know how beautiful Elaine was. Elaine was such a beautiful gal that my daddy told me, now see, John Jr., that's the kind of girl that you are to be paying attention to and stop fooling around in these streets. I said, wait a minute, I had just gotten out of high school, I think it was. I sure wasn't ready to get married. But I was a little crazy about Elaine because she was so pretty. See, this is the way I am. She was so pretty. She sent me these pictures of Elaine and her son at her house on this last May. The one by herself was also taken at my house. Thank you. Thank you, Phyllis, for sending this to me. I got to tell you the story. And it's a good one because when I was a teenager growing up, you didn't jump in bed with anybody. No, well, I didn't. That's never been me. But I've always had a crush on her. She's such a lovely lady and personality. Now listen, and one of our sisters and me was taken in Chicago at the Navy Pier in this August of 2023. Is Donna okay? Okay. All right. She's trying to get in touch with my sister. I'll let her know. Uh, but I am looking at this wonderful. I want to show you this wonderful lady that I believe she passed away. That is her now. Before I even met Lucy, before I even met my wife, she was, she would babysit her. Oh, and oh, yeah, this is my sister with the in the front. That's my sister Donna in Chicago. I love you, Donna. Oh my goodness. And Elaine came, that is, Celestia came to Chicago to see my sister. Small world, right? What do we old people do? We have all these memories to reminisce on. Oh, she said that she's okay, that my sister called her today. Donna's all right, going through transitions. All you other senior citizens out there that will ever pay attention to this blog, if you do, one day, hold fast to the memories. And the memories that I have of Elaine were all beautiful ones. Both of our lives took a different trek or path. We each took a different path. Often I wonder, what would it have been like if the paths were different? Let's say that if I had married Elaine and not married Lucy. Well, of course, my children would look different. I probably, well, who? The man determines. I've always wanted a son. God gifted me with two beautiful daughters. I really can't complain. Oh, I am kind of flabby and fat. I'm sorry. I'm just flabby. I'm an older man. My therapist tells me that I need to exercise more. Learn how to exercise. And wait a minute, let me show you what I do. Let me see if I can still lift this weight. Yeah, it's right here. It's right here. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I better. Oh no, I got to be careful. You see, this is a 25-pound weight. I bought two of them. Ugh. No, I'm not gonna hurt myself. Can I? Can't do it. There was a time when I could do that. You know. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Better be careful, old man. Woo. No, I can't do it. See? That's called deterioration of muscle mass. That's called, oh man, what in the heck are you trying to do? You know that you can't lift 25 pounds over I can't do it. But if I exercise with small weights, my therapist tell me if you exercise with small weights, you'll eventually get that back. And that's what I'm gonna do. Who am I today? This is who I am. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's do 10 out. Right? One, one, two, three. Here it is. Four. Keep them straight. Five. That's good. Six, seven, eight, nine, 10. See, if you're a senior citizen, move around, exercise. Don't sit still all day. Ooh, I can open up this curtain and let some of this fresh air in here now. As the sun goes down in the west where I live, and it's blowing this nice breeze in the window. And so I'm letting it all come in because I've lived in this area for most of my adult life, and I'm used to that fresh Pacific breeze coming through the window and drinking and staying hydrated, working my muscles a little bit. Mm. Now, I do practical things. I don't get involved in controversy. I don't get involved in arguing with anyone about the Bible, the Quran, or any religious book. Nor do I argue with anyone concerning their lifestyles. I heard an interesting take from a Jamaican man on YouTube. He was a Rasta man, as a matter of fact. This is the dialogue that he gave out. He said that he's against homosexuality and gays and LGBT because we try to force our lifestyle on. No, that is the furthest thing from the truth. Let me tell you something. I, being who I am, have always been who I am, and I hope that you would never be like I am. Because you see, the way I live my life and did not get a chance to live it with another young, intelligent, bright, articulate, smart lady of African American descent, because I didn't marry her, did not mean that I would not be successful because I married the one that needed me the most. Now, listen to this conversation. Andalusia needed me more than Elaine needed me. And after seeing her all of these years, it is most gracious to my heart. Y'all think about it. Y'all think about when you are in your late teens, the conversations you had with people. What was on your mind? I remember practically all the conversations. I'm not going to share with you because I don't want Elaine's son to come and hit me in my eye. I heard that she was very ill, and that bothered me. You know, you don't like to think about your friends getting ill. That's why I like doing these webcasts, and that's why I like doing them when I'm alone can think and when I can clear my mind. One act from one human being can literally destroy another human being if that other human being wrongfully sees that person. Listen to what I'm saying. And until you do that, you will never get the point of this webcast. I need to set my legs up. That's right. Because some of you know me, and some of you think that I'm a horrible guy. You do. What is today? Today is Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. That's what they call it, right? Yeah. Well, Taco Tuesday is where I usually go to um, a men's meeting. It is entitled In the Meantime Men. You can look it up. In the Meantime Men.org. I think it's .org or .com. Anyhow, you can find it. In the Meantime Men. It's in Los Angeles. Its director is Mr. Jeffrey King, an acquaintance of mine. I started going to this gay men's family gathering a number of years ago. Why did I do that? I had to. Because I went to church every Tuesday night for Bible study. And then I went to church and I gave a Thursday Bible study. So why can't I go to the gay men's gathering and we practice spiritual disciplines also? And what I found is that men that have the same mind as me can get in contact with God and get in contact with each other and respect each other and to love each other. As a matter of fact, there are different clerics in the organization. And that's what really brightened my heart. That clerics were there. And like I said, if you would like to leave a comment, you can. You don't have to, it's all right. And I'll try to answer you. I changed it and I made my program not for kids anymore because I think it's time for us to grow up. Let me go back in church history and introduce you to something. Baptist church history. If the Baptist church was any good size of a church, I mean in numbers over 400 to 500 people, they had to have at least one at a minimum, no, two at a minimum, gay men or women in that fellowship. Or I can name some names because while I went through ministry, this black pastor, and some of them are still alive, I know them, and maybe to you they haven't come out, but I know them because I was the apologist in town. Los Angeles, that's where I hail. This office is in Los Angeles. So in the meantime, men, I'm glad it's in Los Angeles because I've always loved me some brothers. I loved them in the church when I was their pastor. Ask them. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just taking the cover off everything. I'm tired messing with these babies, shooting these people, these retarded people walking around here. You know, I have a neighbor, and I was gonna ask him this, and I hope this don't get me put in YouTube jail. But why does it seem that every time a royal lunatic goes off, killing my brothers and sisters, that lunatic is a white boy about 21 years old? Why is that? What is it? What is it in the food of some of these people that makes this? What is going on? I just want to know. When I was an apologist, I asked the questions. Remember the one about Henry Lyons? I asked the question about Henry Lyons that nobody wanted to hear. So why won't I ask it here? Why are they, these crazy looking white people with manifestos, going around, going into a dollar store? People can barely make it. Shooting grandmothers and cousins and young brothers that haven't even breathed 1/5 of what I breathe with my lungs, and now laying up in a morgue somewhere. Something's wrong. I have to believe in God because if I didn't believe in God, more crazy stuff would be going on. My preacher friends tell me because I'm gay, I'm going to hell. Let me tell you something about the Black Baptist Church. Let me tell you something. There was a time when I was a radio premier Baptist star. They all invited me to come and visit the churches. Now they're embarrassed by me. Why are they embarrassed by me? Because I come out and say that I love other men? I didn't say that I wanted to do something unscrupulous and unspeakable with another human being. What do you take me for? A wild animal in the streets? That's what they think of us gay people. We're smarter than you. We don't reveal it because we know how you're going to respond, because some of you may be feeling the tinge yourself to get free. All right? I think being a pastor is the best that I could have been for God, because God, knowing everything, right? He's omniscient, He's omnipresent. He knew I was going to tell you this. You didn't. I didn't. That's why I love God. Now, to castigate me to something called a burning sulfur pit. Ooh, man. Yes, you can look on some of my old sermons. See, I'm not a fool. I know what I said. I think it was in 1996 when I preached a sermon and I told the people you're going to bust tail wide open if you don't pay attention to what I'm saying. I was trying to pressure those people into living correctly. Yes, I do anything for them to receive the words that I am going to get in the afterlife, because I believe that the ancestors is going to bless my soul after I leave this place. I've already spoken with my ancestors. You see how happy they make me? No, I want you to watch this webcast so you can really classify me as nutcake crazy. Now, let me tell you why I don't defend a lot of the arguments and things that black preachers defended prior to the Great Awakening, because that's what happened to John Coleman. Unfortunately, my brothers and sisters that died before me, uh, I did a lot of their funerals and our weddings. And if they're not with us, I serve my purpose in their life. Now, my purpose in any man or woman, and especially black man or woman, especially from the continent Africa, my job is to encourage them, and so that our ancestors will speak with them and let them know, as the old hymn songs in the Baptist church taught me years ago, everything's gonna be all right. Or y'all need to let me love you tonight. You know, a lot of people come on these devices and they just show and tell. Nah, I want to educate you. Listen to me, my friends that know that I love you, and I know you love me. I know you love me. You listen to me. Drop off those shackles that another man has locked on your mind. Cast aside a culture that is nothing like yours. Separate yourself, if you can, from time to time from another man's dilemma. Because you see, when you're pure of mind, you don't have a dilemma. And until you free yourself from these shackles, other human beings will have a tendency to try to bring you into cardiac arrest. And then when you get 79, you won't be able to look like this. See, I cast aside all that when I embraced God in my heart when I was 23 years young. That's when I joined the Black Baptist Church. Oh, don't get it twisted. You think I'm going to sit up here and tell you that the Black Baptist Church wanted you? Are you kidding? That helped our ancestors for 300 years. But it could be, perhaps, and I'm just suggesting this, that modus operandi, that means by which people attempt to do their lives is a false means. Could it be? Think it in your minds. I'm not trying to push it down your throat. I want you to just act like you're in the office with me. Could it be? Therefore, it behooves upon you to take upon a certain part of that characteristic and listen to your ancestors when you do it. because these nitwits are not going to stop killing us. And you can call the police and call any. I'm setting it. The Lucy Coleman studio blinds are open. I'm looking out at my neighborhood, and the lights are on in my office, so people can walk down the street, can hear me say this, just like it was in the old days when I did my radio here in this studio. And for a preacher of the Baptist or the black denomination to tell me that I'm going to hell because I'm a gay man, and all the work that I've done over the years in in the black church, on the radio, for the community, I would take the picture off the wall, but I don't feel like taking it down, showing it to you. Me standing 15 feet from the chief of police. I was his chief chaplain, LAPD. What? When some of these lame butt preachers, this is what they said to me. What are you a member of that organization for? You need to get out of that. A pastor told me to get out of being a pastor for a cop. There's a lot of black cops was in the LAPD. It's in there now. And my cousins, the Hispanics. So why would a preacher tell me something abominable as that? John Coleman's not dead yet. John Coleman remembers every conversation that he's had with every cleric. He remembers everything, everything. If Harley ever listens to this, Dr. Harley Howard, I cherish every night I was in that booth with you, present with you. That was a time during our lives that we can never get back. And check this out, Dr. Howard. No one can do it better than you. And you were swell enough to open your arms and invite me in. I couldn't tell you, and you know this, I could not tell you the day I walked in that studio with you that I was a gay man, because you would have never allowed me to be at that mic to even venture a guess at what I'd say. And Harley, I know you're alive today and you may hear this. Please, you and I, you must come to my home and do a YouTube live, and we must tell these people what was going on out there, because me and you are the only two that can do it. All the rest of them were Henry Lyons lying. I remember, Dr. Howard, when you stopped doing radio on that FM station with me. I hope he watches the show. You should have never quit that. But I know, because you and I were both going through, man, weren't we going through trials in the church? Both Harley and I had a multicultural church, meaning that blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians all went to our church. When they come and visit, they would talk to an officer and join our churches. Our churches grew with leaps and I never gave, this is weird for a Baptist, I never gave a welcome invitation for anyone to join the church because I didn't want them to join. I didn't want to be a pastor. Well, you may say, well, why did you get into that? You have to talk to the man upstairs. You know what? The only thing that I can tell you is I watched the movie last night. They finally made it about the boxer's life, George Foreman. And if you watch the movie on Netflix And you see what happened to George Foreman? That's what happened to me. And George Foreman is a contemporary of mine. When God calls you to preach, you're going to preach. God called me to preach, to pastor, I'm going to pastor. He didn't call me to pimp. He didn't call Dr. Harley Howard to pimp. Howard and I weren't pimps. We weren't pedophiles. We weren't whoremongers trying to lay with the sisters and toy with the men. I dare one man in the church that I ever pastored to come forward and say, Pastor John touched me inappropriately. I'd leave YouTube and everything, shut down my website and everything. You know why I know? Because no man can say it. Even though I'm gay, I had a certain discipline about my life. And I'm not getting things off my chest. I'm speaking freely. I'm a free black man. I live in, I think, one of the greatest countries that ever existed on this planet. I've seen people come here, get some food to eat, get some shelter over their head. Unfortunately, Americans have become a selfish bunch of people. Very rarely do we consider others. And then when we see the LGBT queer community, we want to kill them all up. I'm going to tell you, some of your most brilliant minds come from this community. I know because I'm one of them. See, I don't follow that Christian teaching that you shouldn't boast on yourself. If you don't, as a black man, you think anybody else is? Harley, I loved every second that we did radio together. And you know why, Harley? Because we were telling these people the truth in God's holy word. Don't pick out homosexuality. Don't be, because I know when the word was put in the New Testament writ. See, I've read some of the old manuscripts too, and most of the people in the population can't get their hands on manuscripts that old. Wait a minute, you don't believe me? Gosh darn it! You know, I told myself I wasn't going to do this anymore, but I have to do it because some of you are sitting out there saying, "What in the hell are you talking?" I'm talking about this. Oh, wait a minute. I'm trying to take it down because it's okay. It's heavy. Oh, and the cover came off of it. I'll hold it so you can see it. I have some of the oldest aged manuscripts. Why? Because my pastor was a learned man with 3 earned master's degree who trained me. Excuse me for trying to brag a little bit. Who trained me in biblical theology. I loved every minute being in that booth because I knew that when I was sharing that stuff that I had gotten, that it is eternal stuff. It is eternal truth like that. And so since it's eternal truth, it meant that I'm working for the person's benefit. I'm working for their benefit. I remember every night. I remember every laugh that we had together. Because me and Harley used to laugh in that booth. We were happy when the commercials came on because we would and some of the people would call in and make the most ridiculous rhetorical statements, especially during the era when the female preacher came out. Because I'm going to tell you this, whether you accept it or not, I don't care. Keep your female preachers. But there is not one place in the Bible where any apostle of the Christian sense ever ordained a female cleric in any way. Now, that has nothing to do with bias or racism like we believe in this 21st century that we live in. It had something to do with truth. Most men are not going to follow a woman. Oh, you can put her up there as a, as a piece. See, that's what European history is all about. European history has a way of dictating that we believe their culture before we believe ours. I have been, since I have been free from that pulpit, investigating and looking at my culture from the continent's vantage point, Africa. I watch Democracy Now! When I watch the news. I watch Al Jazeera. I don't watch ABC, NBC, CBS. Oh, and let me address this too, because someone was asking me, when are you going to address the political? I still don't vote, and I know a lot of you black people don't like me because I won't vote. I'm supposed to vote. You vote. You vote for me. My vote don't count because I don't care. I'm in the greatest country in the world. And if any police, any of them ask me, and they say, what do you think of America? I said, this is the greatest country in the world, man. Sure is. If I can gain fat under my chest here, this is crazy. I don't like that. I'm just crazy. But like I said, this is the greatest country in the world. And what I'm going to do is to extol that. I'm not going to play the game that many people play. I don't play that game. Maybe I better close the window. Maybe somebody's coming for me, huh? Never know, those things can happen. Now, leave it open. I want some air to come in here. Cool breeze is starting to come in this evening. So, I think, Holly, we need to hook up. We need to hook up and we need to talk. We need to laugh. We need to. And any other of my older minister friends that know me, this is what I was thinking. Let me put it out in the universe. Everyone that's ever taken theology with me, and there's a lot of you out there, because I plan to live till I'm at least 99. I like that. Why do I want to live that long? I want to see what these young people going to do, because I never thought that I'd see a Tesla. Are you crazy? I never thought that I'd own a cell phone. Are you out of your mind? These young people are doing things on this planet that I want to see. I want to see these things. I want to experience these things. Since God is so good that He's given me relatively good health, relatively, I have to be very careful, because you saw me trying to lift that 25-pound weight and I'm falling apart. I can stand up now, and let me show you if I can. I hope I don't fall down. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, see, I could stand up now. Let me get back. I could stand up now and move across one end of the room to the other. I still got enough strength to do my exercise, Harley, but I'm not going to fight you. And Harley, guess what? And guess what, all my preacher friends? I'm not going to fight you either. If anybody that knows me thinks that my life is worth absolutely nothing, you are entitled to your opinion. And I would just ask that you get some help. I, I'd ask that you get some help somewhere and stop running that game on people that are smarter than that. Because it's a game. And because people won't follow that. See, if they don't want to follow that, and if, let's say that you are a parent and you've taught them everything you could give them, everything, there's nothing else you can teach your children. Your children are grown as all get out, legal age to do whatever they want to do, and they're living in the United States of America. Now, I know some of you are going to think that God can snatch the planet up and is going to blow it up and squish it out. That may happen one day, and indeed it may. I couldn't do anything but go, ouch, right? So let's get that over. Each of us, unless we're eternal creatures in this body, are going to dissipate. Why the fuss? Why the fuss? Oh, because if you didn't do, listen to this. This is what it comes down to. And this is what I've come to. Or if you don't do uh everything that God tells you to do, God is gonna punish you. I'm saying, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. What did I ever do to bring that on me from God? Are you castigating blame? If God is a reasonable thought of mine, he can be challenged. What did I do to cause me to burn in a sulfur pit for billions and trillions of years? Give me the deed. And if he said, because you kissed the boy in junior high and you liked it, he said, for that, you will be punished for the rest of eternity, 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 eternity. Let me tell you, I don't worship that kind of a God. I don't know what that is. And with that, I'm just going to say, I'm going to leave that alone because I scared me a little bit. Hey, thank you for coming to my website and tell your friends about it. I appreciate it. John Coleman, you are nuts. I knows it.